Very good afternoon, everybody. This is Praveen Kumar from EDS Technology, Bangalore. Today, we are going to discuss about CATIA V5 digital mockup mechanism simulations. So, before getting started, we'll be seeing what are areas what we deal, everything like a small introduction about EDS technologies. See, since from 1955, 2015, we are like 20 years old company. We are India's largest ALM CAT CAM CAE real-time simulation, #1 in India. And also we are the leading partner with Dassault System, SAP and Autodesk. And with Dassault System and Autodesk, we are the authorized training system, largest training provider. And we have 1,000 more customers, and these are the our partners, and we have like 11 offices all over India. So this is a small introduction about EDS technologies. Now we'll just move to like Dassault System products. What we deal, like when you take a Dassault System products, we support on CATIA, Simulia, Enopia, and Delimia, 3D Composer, and XE leads. So today's session will be like focusing on or is like to understand digital mechanism and kinematics, how it works, and we'll be also focusing on how to create mechanism simulations. We'll also see, and also we'll see how to record it and play it. So this will be the main focus on today's topic. So for today's topic, we need people like who are good in like CATIA assembly design. So before getting started, let us understand what does kinematics is. Kinematics, you all people might be knowing, it is a study of an object uh, without considering a motion as a main. So when you study an object in a motion, you will be able to determine the direction of an object where it is going to flow, and the velocity and the acceleration, and also the you will be able to analyze the time taken for motion which is going to happen in assembly. So this is an actual thing when you're going to study a body on a motion. That is all about an kinematics. But when it comes to CATIA DMU kinematics, we have capabilities of doing like instead of bringing parts and assembling it in a separate module like assembly, we are capable of doing assembly inside our DMU workbench. Also, we'll be able to instruct the assembled parts the way it has to move or the way it has to fit in an assembly. By giving an instruction, you will be able to generate the motions to the assemblies. From there, you will be able to animate the thing. Next, moving on to an overview of what is like DMU, we are going to deal about is the procedures. Like it is a process like first we will like bring bring all the parts in a window, and we'll apply joints between two different parts. First process in an DMU kinematics is like applying joints, creating of joints. So once you have given a joints for all the things, you will say a fixed part. You will just define a fixed part. So once fixed part is also defined, you will be able to give a command for it, so that your joints will act, or it will be able to replicate a motion on an assembly. So when you are going to study your motion, you will be able to understand what is exactly happening in an assembly. So when you study in motion of an assembly, if there is any clash or which is like having in your assembly, you will be able to analyze by doing this analyze. So this is a normal overview of a central methodology of working with DMU kinematics. Next, we will just see in this slide we saw how to create a joints. So that is creating of joints, creating a fixed part, and defining a command and simulating. This complete thing comes around defining a mechanisms. So defining mechanism is nothing but, again, as I said, you are going to bring all the separate assemblies part in one single assembly, and then you apply a joint for each and every single individual parts. So it has a links between like your each and every part will have a link. So once a link is created, you will be giving a command to stimulate it. So when we get into this webinar is like a two part. What is learning, like we will understand what is actual DMU meant for, and we'll go back to a real demo session where we'll see what is the possibilities. We will be able to do it in a real examples. So before getting into like real examples, we want to understand what is a joint and what is the use in this assemblies. Like, see, in CATIA kinematics, we have this many joints. So each joint has a single, like, first, if you take a first joint, it is meant for creating a revolute joint, and second joint, if you go, it is like prismatic joints. So likewise, there are this many joints which is available, and joints are mainly classified into 4 different categories. This complete joint is being classified into 4 different categories. One is like normal assembly constraints. So when you take a normal this joint, like this is a revolute joint. This revolute joint is a combination of a constraint, 2 different constraints. One is like coincident constraint, and one is like contact constraints. So when you apply a joint to 2 different parts, what exactly happens is 2 different constraints automatically applied to 2 different parts. So that is coincident constraint and contact constraint. When you use a revolute joint, these 2 constraints get applied. So it is not necessary that you have to take a part in an assembly given a constraint and take it to kinematics. So we have a capabilities of applying a constraints inside a DMU workbench itself. But there are some possibilities of bringing an assembly which is already having a constraint. That can also be already applied constraints can also be converted into joint, so that it makes a little work lesser with, when you are importing your assembly. When you are importing a part or a product from an assembly. So when you see this many joints, this joint is like assembly joints and topological or geometrical element joints and component joints. So when you speak about only the first joint is a combination of only 2 different constraints. When you speak about the second joint is like point and it is a combination of point and topology elements. And when you make a component joint, it's a combination of 2 different joints. So we will get into a workbench and we'll understand what is this 4 different types. So we get more idea on that. So today in this demo, we'll just see how to create a joint. We'll also see how to simulate the mechanisms. We'll understand how to understand like what is happening when a simulation is happening, what is like really happening in an assembly, like clash or clash checks also we'll be doing it, and we'll also see how to record it and how to play it in simulations. So So to get started with CATIA, you will be going for a CATIA start digital mockup, and from there you have to go for a kinematics. By clicking there, you will be able to launch this workbench. So if you see in this workbench, there are if you go for insert, you have this many options available in your kinematics workbench. So I'm just moving to CATIA screen. So after a demonstration is completed, you will be having a interactive question and answer sessions where 3 questions will be asked from the demonstration where which I'm going to present it now, and also 2 questions will be available in this survey form. So I'll just launch it from the first. Go for start, digital mockup unit, and go for kinematics. By going here, you will be able to get into a dedicated workbench for kinematics. Here you will be able to do creation of joints, simulation of mechanisms, clash checks, and also you will be able to record it and play it, the mechanisms. So as I said, in this workbench, you have a feasibilities of bringing the existing paths and assembling it here only by using these joints. But it is recommended that you bring all the things in assembly, position it according to your use snaps, and I'll go for a mechanical design, assembly design. What you can do exactly do is you can go bring all the existing components, create a assembly, and position all the components according to their desired locations by using a move command, and then go to digital mockup kinematics. By here you can apply joints. See, after assembling it and assembling workbench, you bring that pattern and you can apply for all those joints, and you will be able to give the command for the joints so that your assembly can able to stimulate. So this is like overview how we are going to work. For example, we'll see how a top-down approach. Here I just create a. I'll go for a revolute joint. I'll go for a revolute joint, and I'll create 2 different parts inside this workbench only, and we'll apply and we'll see how it actually works. So, what I'll do is I'll go insert new part inside a product, and I'm going to create a small shaft with a gear. I'll say 50 mm. So I've created a shaft here, and I'll go again to product, which is like kinematic workbench. I'll go for insert new product. So, okay. So in this second part, what I'll do is I'll just create a gear inside this. So I'll just come out of sketch. I have two different parts. One is a shaft, one is a gear over the shaft. So this thing I created within the digital mockup workbench. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two different I've created two different things. Now I'm going to apply a W joint for this here. Like if you say go for this W joint, you have an option for creating a mechanism here inside this W joint. Or else what you can do is go for insert and create a new mechanism. So once you click on insert new mechanism, you get this options here. So if you say the joints, there is nothing which has been given for these two different parts. So for creating this, I'll go click on this joint. So when I click on this joint, existing mechanism one has been selected. If you have two different mechanism or many different mechanism, you will be having an option for selecting that mechanism. So now I'm going to create a W joint between the shaft and gear. So for creating shaft and gear revolute joint, you have to input four different things. That is like for creating a revolute joint, you have to give an access to access coincidence and plane to plane coincidence. Like first is see first one. And this. So first I'm given access to access coincidence. Now I'm going to give a face to face, this face to this face with an offset -5. Say OK. When I say OK, you will be able to see that a constraint is applied, a coincidence and offset constraint is applied. And inside mechanism, there is a joint which is being created, which is the revolute joint, which I have applied now. So when you double click on this, you have an option for angle driven. So select on that and give a start value of 0 to 360 and say OK. So when you said when you go on give a angle driven value from 0 to 360, your degree of freedom for the component becomes 2. If I just uncheck this and say OK, the degrees of freedom for this component is 1. That means since this component and this component is having a coincidence of a centered axis, face to face of offset is like 5 mm. So this external thing can rotate along this shaft. That is the only freedom which is this component is having. So to arrest that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a revolute joint. I'm going to give angle driven constraint. That is from 0 to 360, this object can rotate. I'll say OK. So when I said 0 to 360, my degrees of freedom for this component has become 0. So this is how you will be applying joints for each and every components. I'll just show you an example of existing which I have already created. So this is a slider mechanism. So if you see here, I have a mechanism here, one simulation which has been recorded, and that can be played by replay. So I'll just play you for this. I'll just play it and I'll show you how it actually works. So this is one motion, if you like. Close this, and we'll see now each and every joint, how to create a joint, how to create a mechanism, and how we'll also see how to record it. So now what we have seen is by applying a top-down approach, we have created a shaft and an external thing which is going to revolve on the shaft. And by using a revolute joint, we have just applied a coincident constraint and offset constraint, and also we went into a revolute joint. Here we have given an angle driven value from 0 to 3 so that this part is completely constrained. But if you say you have already arrested a degrees of freedom as a 0, but here both the parts can also rotate, like this the external thing also rotate over the shaft, or this external can be kept constant and the shaft can rotate inside this. So you have to say a system that you are going to keep one as a constant and you are going to revolve other thing over it. For doing that, we have a command called fix. So go here, select your mechanism which is available already, like mechanism 1. If you have many mechanisms, it will be highlighted here. Now currently we have only one mechanism, so I'm just selecting mechanism 1 and I'm going to fix my shaft. So when I just fix my thing, you get a pop-up called this mechanism can be simulated. Unless you fix something, it is impossible to simulate a mechanism. Now we'll see how this actually going to rotate along the shaft. So for that, what I'll do is I'll go for this simulation here. I have an immediate thing. I'll go there. I'll see. So when I'm just dragging my cursor on this button from 0 to 360, it is just revolving it. So I'll go for a reset and I'll do it one more time. See you. So now what we have done is we have seen how to create two different parts inside this workbench, and how to apply a mechanism, how to apply a joint, and how to simulate it. That is what we have seen still now. But for other examples, what I'll do is I'll just take ready-made already created examples, and I'll show you how to create one by one joints. So I'll go for a prismatic or revolute joint. First I'll show you. See now what I have is I have a shaft and I have a wheel over a shaft. So these two different parts you can either create it inside this workbench, or you go to insert, go for existing component and bring it and assemble it here. So I'm just going to delete an existing mechanism which is already created. Deleted. So I have now one product. Inside one product, I have two different components. So we'll see how to apply a revolute joint first. I'll go for a revolute joint. First, I'll say create a new mechanism. When I say create new mechanism, the application thing is getting added to my tree. Inside application, a mechanism is created. There is two ways of creating a new mechanism. One is like you can go any of the joints. So you can go for any of the joints and create a new mechanism from there, or else go for insert, go create new mechanism here. So once you get a mechanism, you have to create a joint and you have to define the command so that your parts can be able to rotate or move according to your command. That is the actual way. Now I'm going to apply a revolute joint for this two different parts. I go for revolute joint. As I said, for revolute joint, I need two different things. That is like line-to-line coincidence and plane-to-plane coincidence. For these two different parts, I'll give first my line-to-line coincidence. And plane-to-plane coincidence. I'll say okay. So now what I've done is I've taken two different parts I've created a mechanism. After creating mechanism, I've gone for a revolute join. Inside revolute joins, I've given the coincidence. Once I've given a coincidence that has got added inside a constraint icon. See, if you expand this, you can see a coincidence constraint and an offset constraint, which has been applied because of this joint. As you see here, as you like see joint, the revolute joint. The revolute joint they have shown. See, this joint is a combination of two different things. One is like contact constraint, one is like coincident constraint. So similarly, for each and every things, it is a combination of two different things or two or many things. So here, where we are is like we have created a mechanism. If you see in mechanisms, it has got a degrees of freedom of 1. So when you have a degree of freedom, you will not be able to simulate a mechanism in an assembly. For that, you have to make this degrees of freedom into 0. For making that 0, you need to say a system that I'm going to fix one thing and I'm going to revolve or apply a angular like revolution joint. To do that, we have a command called fix command, and I'll select that. Now I'll say this is my shaft which is going to be fixed, and my other part is going to revolve according to my revolution joint. So after applying fix command, we have still one more thing has to be done on this revolute joint. That is like we have to give a value of revolution from 0 to or 360 to 0. So when you say this angle driven, you are just constraining this wheel rotation axis. That means it can rotate from 360 to 0. Minus 360. Okay. So now when you are constraining everything of two different parts, then you will be seeing your degrees of freedom is 0. When degrees of freedom is 0, only then you will be getting a pop-up message like this, which says that this mechanism can be simulated. Once you get a pop-up like that, then you can go for simulation command here. Select here, go for more. Here we have seen what is the immediate thing. We'll go for on request now. On request, we'll see how to use this command. Here, first go for reset and drag your from 0 to 360. You drag it, and this number of steps determine how much speed it has to exactly rotate just 360. So I'll give 500 and I'll say okay. So now my speed is very less. If I increase my speed, what I'll do is I'll go here, I'll change my value to 100 steps, and I'll just play it again. Reset it, so make 100, and I'll drag this from 0 to 360, and I'll say play. So when this is 100 steps, 100 means 360 is being divided by 100 steps, and it is being rotated. When you okay, we had a time lag of for what I'm just doing it. So we have seen how to create a revolute joint. Sorry, how to create a mechanism, and using mechanism how to apply a revolute joint, and by using joints you have applied how to like coincidence constraint and offset constraint for the two different things, and you have given a command from this wheel has to rotate on the shaft from minus 360 to 0 degree. And what I have done is I have conf simulation command, I'll show you how to move this or how to rotate this. Now we'll go for a prismatic joints. We'll see what is the use of this prismatic joints. For that, I'll open another example. Close this. So this is a prismatic joint. If you see here, I'll delete this. So I have two different parts, like this orange color and this blue color part, which is like I have to travel in to move in this group. For creating that mechanism, we have something called prismatic joint creation. Go there, click there. So you get an option for creating a mechanism. Click on new mechanism, say OK. For creating a mechanism, these are the inputs, like line to line, a two part has to be coincident and plane to plane has to be coincident. So what I'll do is I'll first give this line and this edge of this component to be coincident. So this line, right, and this line, and phase, like from this phase to this phase, and say OK. So now what happened is new mechanism. I've gone here, I've created a prismatic joint. When I just applied a prismatic joint, if you go here, it is a combination of two different coincident constraints, which is like line to line and plane to plane. So now I'm going to give a command for this prismatic joint. For giving a command, I'll go for a prismatic joint, select it here. I'll give a length driven value, that is like this part has to move along the input of the line and plane from this point to this point. For that, what I'll do is I'll just measure how much distance is this. So which is 450. So my value has to be for this prismatic joint. My command has to be from length driven value from 0 to 450. I'll say OK. So you give value also, your degrees of freedom became 0. But still, I have not got a message saying that mechanism can be simulated, because now there are two different parts which system cannot be able to understand which part has to move. For that, I have to say a system that keep this part as a fixed and move this blue color over the orange color. So for doing that, I'll go for a fix command and fix my orange thing. When I just fixed it, this mechanism can be stimulated. I'm getting a message. This means I'll be able to move the blue color over an orange color. So immediate, I'll go, I'll select it here. When I'm just moving it, it moves along your cursor. When you go for on request, it will record the movement, and it will be divided by number of steps, and it will be paid. Here I'm going to give it like 2000, and I'll just move it, and I'll pay it. See here, this blue color is moving from 0 to 450 mm distance. So we have seen all the prismatic joints. We'll move to the next commands. I'll say close. I'll go and open prismatic. So now this is a cylindrical joint. If I just expand this, see, first thing is I've created a mechanism. To create a mechanism, what you have to do is go here, create a new mechanism. When you create a mechanism, this thing get added to your application thing. And after creating a mechanism, you have to create a joint which is like for orange color part, it has to rotate and then move it along the shaft. You have something called cylindrical joint here. You have to go click it, create a new mechanism and give line to line access. So we'll just run it out without deleting it. We'll see how this exactly rotates. Request 500 and I'll just see for this revolute joint and prismatic joint. There were only one single input. For when you take a revolute joint, angle driven as an input. For prismatic joint, length driven as an input. But when you go for a revolute joint, it is a combination of two different things. One is like angle driven and length driven. The two different values you can give it. That means when you give angle and length value, it will move along the length and it will also rotate. So we'll see how to create this. I'll go for a cylindrical joint. I'll say I'm going to create a new mechanism. Here, if I want to rename this, I'll just rename this as a cylindrical joint. So if you see here inside mechanism, a cylindrical joint mechanism has been created. And for this creating a mechanism, you need to give two different. One is like this access to this access you have to give. Line coincidence will be created. So if you see there is no coincidence like constraints available, when I say okay, a constraints will be created. See here, a constraint has been created. So we have just applied a constant constraint, which is like axis of this orange color part to the or axis of this blue color part. So now, if you double click on this, you have two different things. One is like angle driven, one is like length driven. So angle driven, I'll say 0 to 360 value, it has to rotate, and length also has to move from 0 to 100 mm. So when it is going to move from 0 to 100, it is also going to rotate from 0 to 360. So rotation motion and linear motion has been applied for this component when you a cylindrical joint. So now what I'll do is I'll just go and fix this component. So once I fix this, it gives a message for it can be simulated. So I'll go here. So I'll go for on request. I'll just move it both the things. I'll say okay. Because see, I'll say minus 100, so it moves in shaft direction. Minus 360. Okay. Sorry, minus 100. I'll say no. Go for mechanism. So length of this driven is 0 to 220. I'll go on I'll go for cylindrical joint. I'll give this length driven from 0 to 220, an angle driven from 360 to 360. I'll say okay. I'll go for simulation. At least one command parameter. Just reset and just drag it, and I'm going to play it. I'll go for reset. I'm just getting a message like there's a lag in like video with its streaming delay.
I think you need to do it that again.
Okay, I'll show this once again, because some people are not like able to see what I've done exactly. For them, see, I have a mechanism here. I've joined. To create this, I'll just delete my existing thing. I'll go for cylindrical joint. I'll go for a cylindrical joint. I'll say creating a new mechanism, and I'll say okay. I'll give constants for this component to this component, that is axis to axis coincidence. Angle driven value I'll give. What I'll do is I'll just go here and I'll say fix this, and then I'll go to cylindrical joint. I'll say angle driven value is minus 360 and length driven is minus 100 to 100. I'll say okay, this mechanism can be still. Now now I'll go for a simulation command. Here I'll set on request, and I'll say reset it, and I'll just drag it, and I'm going to play it now. Reset it. I'm going to move it this way. This direction I'll play. So this component is getting rotated or revolved from minus 100 to 100 on the shaft, and it is also, when it is moving from minus 100 to 100, it is also rotating from minus 360 to 360 degree. So this is about a cylindrical joint. We'll move to screw joint. So for creating screw joint, we have something called bolt and nut. So if you see here, creation of mechanism is similar. Applying of joint, we'll see what will be the input create a screw joint. Select it here. It is a line-to-line coincidence, which is like axis to axis of a part 1 to axis of a part 2. And also it is similar to screw joint is similar to cylindrical joints, which you can give a, like angle driven and length driven. Now we'll see how it actually rotates. I'll go and drag this, and I'll say play it. since my number of steps is 500, it is like very speed. If I just go and increase this to 2000, so now it is a bit slow.
YouTube. No,
Okay. Now the problem is what I'm like getting feedback is like um, whatever simulation which I'm just making it here, it's not getting reflected. It's like just moving in steps. It is not actually, you are not able to see it. That is like feedback I'm getting it. This might be because of some internet people which like you might be facing with the internet issue. So I'll proceed further. See, this will go and create a spherical joints, planar joints, and rigid joints. For planar joints and rigid joints, I'll show only one thing. We'll just go for kinematic things. I'll just show, because this spherical joints, planar joints, and rigid joints are a combination of. You will see here, it is a combination of two different joints or two different geometrical elements. So I'll not be able to actually, when you created all this first four things, you might be seeing the mechanism which is like motion which is happening in the parts, but when you just apply this, you may not actually see the mechanism which is moving, but it is a simple joint which we are going to apply it. For that, I'll go for a rigid joint. I'll take this. So the rigid joint, see, planar joint is nothing but a point-to-point coincidence, and planar joint is a coincidence of two different planes. So there, you are going to tell part A is going to move along the part B plane, which you are given an input. When you go for a mechanism of creating a spherical joint, you are going to coincide at two different points. One is like point part A is going to move along a point B along a point. So that is all about creating a spherical joint, prismatic joints. I'm going for a rigid joints. So rigid joints, if you say it is like combination of two different parts. So you are going to link your part one to part two. So when you apply a part one with some type of coincidence, so that will be carried with the part two. When this wheel rotates, automatically part two wheels also rotates. We'll see how to do that. I'll delete this existing constraints. So now what I'm going to make is, I'm going to make this wheel going to revolve along the blue shaft, by using a revolute joint, and that revolute joint I'm going to carry forward to this wheel also by giving a rigid joint. I'll go for a revolute joint. I'll create a new mechanism. I'll say okay, and I'm going to give a coincidence between your revolute joint of this part, and this face to this face, and I'll say okay, and I'm going to fix this shaft, and then I'm going to give a length value, angle driven value from 0 to 360. I'll say okay. So when I just run this mechanism on demand, I'm going to rotate it, like move this cursor. So when I'm just moving it, it is only moving, this wheel is only moving. So if I have to make this wheel also move according to this rotation, what I can do is either I can go and give a revolute joint, one more revolute joint for this wheel, or else I'll go for a rigid joint. I'll say part 1 is going to be coincide with the part 2. I'll say okay. Now, since if you see your joint, this rigid joint has been applied with a revolute joint, so that when I'm just going to move this wheel, it will see here on demand. So this is the actual use of a rigid joint. By using rigid joint, you will be able to combine two different parts, and you can give the motion or a joint which has been applied for your part 1. This is about the joints. We have seen how to create a rigid joint. We'll see one more example because of time constraints. We are unable to cover all the things. We will see one more thing, and we'll move to. If we see here to make this mechanism work, they have applied a prismatic joint, point and curve joint, revolute joint, and one more prismatic joints. So we'll see how to run this mechanism. I'm going to delete all the existing things, and I'll show you do that. Okay. How to? I'll go for. See, there is a question. Chetan is asking, it is possible to make other wheel to rotate in another direction. If you want to rotate, you can directly give a revolute joint and give a minus value. Instead of 0 to 360, you can give minus 360 to 0, so that it rotates in opposite direction. So we'll see one example which has a combination of two to three different joints. Point and curve. So for creating point and curve, if you see here, to create this mechanism, we have to apply. See, if you see here, it is a first example which we have seen. This wheel is going to rotate along this. So for that, I'll give a revolute joint for this wheel and a shaft. I'll say create a new mechanism. I'll say okay. See this wheel.
Let it.
I'm going to give a coincidence between this line to this and this plane to this plane. I'll say okay. So one revolute joint has been created that is between this orange color and this pink color. So now what I have to do is I have to make this lever which has to slide up and down to this blue color thing. For that, what I'll do is I'll go for a prismatic joint. I'll give a prismatic joint for this face to this face and this line to this line. For that, I'll just hide this part. I'll say this line has to move with this line and this plane has to slide along this line, this plane. So what I've done is first I've created a revolute joint between this yellow color and this pink color, and I've created a I've just created a prismatic joint between this face and this face. Now what I'll do is I'll just fix this blue color thing. Go here and fix this. And what I'll say is I'll go for a point and curve. See this curve has to this point and curve. I'll this point and curve so that it means that this point has to move along. And if you see uh, this yellow color thing, when this along this curve, this yellow color part has to slide along this blue color things. For that, we need to give one more prismatic joint between this yellow color and this blue color, line to line and plane to plane. I'll say okay. Uh, Go for here then. I'll say okay. Angle driven 0 to it is. Actual mechanism is something like this yellow color has to be slided between this blue color thing. When this yellow color is moving, this orange color part will also follow the path of this curve. When this orange color thing is passing, this pink will move vertically up. So we'll see how this is going. I'll go for exclamation mechanism. I'll go for unrequest because there are two different things. One is like command. I'll go for It's rotating. Your yellow color thing is moving forward. So here mechanism. So for creating, we used a revolute joint, prismatic joint, and point and curve. So similar wise, when you are able to create, I'll just after this I'll just tell you what are inputs for each and everything. So we'll go for I'll go. If you see again, see here. If you see, I have four different gears, which is like similar to a revolute joint. Go and expand this. Joint inside this two different shafts. That is two different revolutes, and this gear 4 is being created with revolute 3 and revolute 4. Create two different revolute joints between this thing and this thing, and make two different revolute joint with a one single gear joint. Two more revolute will be able to create two different gear joints. So when you have create joints created, go for simulation and see. To see. So this is for example for this one slider curve joint. I'll go for mechanisms. I'm not going to speak how to create this mechanism, because creating joint is very simple, because it is a combination of other things what we have seen still now. So for creating a slide curve joint, it is a combination of, sorry, this is a roller curve joint. This is a combination of a revolute joint, two different revolute joint and one prismatic joints. We'll go and simulate these mechanisms. See. So I'll So we had a time as a constraint. We are unable to see all the joints. I'll stop my demonstration on kinematics here, and I'll